All right, final lecture on economics. I'm sure you're pretty happy about that. You're probably tired of listening to my voice throughout the year and watching these gosh darn videos. Today is about economic laws. And in the midst of this lecture, you might be thinking, could someone tell me what is going on here? Some of the concepts in today will be somewhat difficult, so don't feel overwhelmed. Just keep listening and trust that I will do my best to explain it and that you can get it by the end, all right? First thing, economic laws. What are we talking about when we say economic laws? Well, first of all, if I were talking about the laws of nature, I'd be talking about the fact that things fall to the center of the earth, right? Or if I was talking about photosynthesis, the fact that plants produce oxygen and they consume carbon dioxide. Or if you are Mai Zhang, then you are the black part because women are evil. Oh. And if you are Pao Li, you are the white section because men are good. Well, actually, that's not really true, even though that's what this idea says. For every black or for every evil, there's an opposite positive reaction. And white is associated with the sun or with masculinity or being a man, and black is associated with evil or the moon or being dark. Okay? So you don't have to agree with that. That was just all a joke, by the way. All right. Or if we're talking over here about justice, okay, or we're talking about the ideas in the Declaration of Independence or in the preamble. We're talking about equality, human rights, people are all men are created equal, that kind of thing. So it's closer to that than we are talking about other kinds of laws, such as speeding tickets would be a law that we're not talking about. Parking tickets. Okay, going on. Law of vocabulary. First of all, let's talk about scarcity. Things have to be limited and wanted. So both of those words are really key to understanding what scarcity means. Supply, the amount of goods and services for sale. Demand, the ability and willingness of people to buy something. An equilibrium point. Here you see this word in here, equal, and the point at which things are equal. What is equal? When supply and demand are equal. That determines best price. Okay, some more law vocabulary. First of all, we're going to talk about price. The price of something is what you see on the price tag. So that's pretty easy, right? You go to McDonald's, and how much is a McChicken there? $1. Okay? I think you can get a soda for $1. A lot of things are $1 there on their value menu. But McChicken, I'm pretty sure, is still $1. So let's go with that. Price. The money you sell something for. So McDonald's sells McChickens for $1. That is the price McDonald's sells a McChicken for. What is the cost? The cost is very, very different. The money a product requires of you. So the cost for McDonald's Corporation to make a McChicken, let's say including the lettuce, whatever kind of chicken meat that is, the bun, the mayonnaise, everything, let's say that is 50 cents. Okay? So it didn't cost them $1 to make it. It costed them 50 cents. That would be the cost. The profit is the leftover money when you sell something and take out your cost, or the price minus the cost equals the profit. So if we did this, $1 you've already figured out in your head already, I'm sure. The price that they charge is $1. The cost to make it was 50 cents. So how much is the profit? I know it's really hard. 50 cents profit. Okay? All right, so if you look at this little graphic, when companies talk about taking their costs down, right? If they take their costs down, they're going to make more money. Their profits are going to go up. So that might include paying people less, So I'm sure if McDonald's could pay their people less than minimum wage, then they would make more profits. If those companies were to put their prices up higher, that is a way of making more money. But we're going to talk about how the demand might be less. So if a McChicken was $5, sure, they would make more money every time they sold a McChicken. But how many people would pay $5 for one McChicken sandwich? Well, not very many, right? Unless they're like, you just got to have it, man. So you usually don't want to change the price too much. Sometimes you have to, especially if your costs go way up. So let's say the cost of chicken went way up, then you might have to change your price. But what you want to do is try to keep your costs low so you can make a higher profit. I think you guys got that. We'll go on. If you didn't, you can always rewatch that part. All right, law of scarcity. Everybody wants porcupine teeth, right? No. Porcupine teeth are not in high demand. However, there probably aren't that many porcupine teeth in the world. By the way, these are porcupine teeth. You didn't figure that out. So, however, diamonds, there are also not very many diamonds in the world, are there? They are scarce. Why? Well, first of all, the law of scarcity says all things are limited. In order to get something, you have to give up something else. It also has to be wanted. So these are not scarce, but these are. Why? Because people want diamonds. What do you have to give up? Well, you have to give up your time and your energy. And there's a couple of quick questions that we had to answer in here. What should be made? Who makes it? Who gets it? We have to prioritize. So not everybody in the world can have a massive diamond like this, right? And then also people don't want porcupine teeth, so we don't have to worry about that. But for other things where, something that could be more scarce, how do we determine who gets it? Like water. In California, there's a drought right now. And pretty soon they're going to run out of water. So they are determining how to desalinize the salt water. They are determining how to get water to the people. About 150 years ago, they brought water from the mountains. That was a way of getting the water to them because that is a need, right? They need it, they want it, but it's also, in this case, limited. So in Wisconsin, water is not limited. We have tons and tons of water, right? But in California, it's hard to determine how to get that water to them because it is a scarce resource at that point. So not just diamonds are scarce. All right, going on. Law of supply. And I kind of like this when I'm in presenter mode for this one. It's a little bit nicer. Law of supply. As prices go up, producers are willing to produce more. When prices go down, producers tend to produce less. So what that means is if you got a tons of stuff in a warehouse, there's a reason for that because they can get a good price for it. If people are not making anything, it means they can't get a good price for it. So let's use this example of soda. Let's say soda is going for $10 a 12-pack. That's a pretty good price. So 10 per pack. At the grocery store today, you could probably go there and get it for $3, maybe $4 if you're not getting a good deal. But $10 is going for a pack. So what are all the soda makers going to do? They're going to make more soda. Why? Because that's such a good price. And people are willing to pay lots of money for it. And they're going to make lots of profits because it doesn't cost them much to make soda. In fact, like a can of soda costs like 5 or 10 cents, start to finish. All right. So as price goes up, the supply goes up. It's going for a really good price. Let's say a soda now costs, instead of $10, it only costs 25 cents for an entire pack of soda. I know I'm not very good at writing like this. I'm working on it. 25 cents for an entire 12-pack. Just make that clear. Okay? You're thinking to yourself, holy cow, I want that soda. But the people that are making the soda are like, there's no way we can make any money off of this. It's not worth it to make it. We're actually losing money if we make it, right? Because the price of soda is so low. So even though everybody wants it, there's not going to be a high supply because the price is so low. Hopefully that makes sense. So as prices go up, producers are willing to produce more. When prices go down, producers produce less. They both have a P in it. That's one way easier remembering it. So supply and price have a P in it. So they're both the same. They could both go up or both go down. Okay, demand is a good one. Law of demand. As prices go up, people demand less. When prices go down, people demand more. So think of a sale. When I think of demand, I think of a sale. At Black Friday or at all these best sales, what happens? People line up and they want to get the best deal. So the demand for low prices is always going to be very high. So as price goes up, demand goes down. Let's say they had a sale where it wouldn't be a sale. They had a special where they said, hey, today only everything is double price. Are people going to want to go there to shop? Heck no. Versus the opposite, if the price went down, like on Black Friday, or 40% off, and then plus there's 80% off things. So, I mean, when I go to Kohl's, I can get shirts for like $2, $3, right? You can't beat that even at Goodwill. I guess you could beat it if you went to like the garbage dump, but I don't really want that stuff. So then demand is going to go way up. So the lower the price, the bigger the demand. Think of a sale price. If the price goes up, again, the opposite, demand goes down. All right, there's a couple of curves you have to remember. The one that's going up and to the right, that's supply. The one that's going down and to the right is demand. And the point in between is called the equilibrium point. I'm going to talk about that for quite a while now. But you need to know that the equilibrium point determines best price. All right, I'm going to back out of this and use this magic pen that I'm still learning how to use. Okay, let's see. You guys should know what this is, I hope. It's called ginseng. It looks like, I don't know, the villain from Pirates of the Caribbean. It looks like a squid or an octopus. But really what it is ginseng. And Wausau has the world's most and best wild ginseng in the world. You may not know that. It grows well in our climates. And so that's why you see all those kind of farms around the city with a big black canopy. And it's growing pretty well because they get a pretty good price for it. In fact, I think the going price for it last time I heard was about $8 a pound. So that's a decent price. All right. So that's what is going to be our product today. We're going to be talking about ginseng. Okay, over here, I already talked about this earlier, but this is price. So P stands for price. I don't know if I should really try to write all this on here, but I'm going to anyway. P is price. Okay? D is demand. I feel like I'm in first grade again. Okay. What are we selling? Oh my gosh. Ginseng. I have to keep that on there. It looks like a capital G and a lowercase g together. See that capital G and a lowercase? That was pretty sweet, actually. I have to keep that. S is supply. Q, don't mean to confuse you here, is quantity. So just think of that like a number. I don't want to say the word quantity supplied because then that becomes more confusing, but just think of number or the amount of that good. So supply means like how much is produced. Okay, I guess that is a better way of remembering it. In fact, why don't they explain that in other places like that way? Amount produced. Okay, this is quantity supplied or the amount, the number or count of that item. This is the price, how much it costs. And then I'm going to use this point. Well, no, let's use this one. It's a little prettier. So we're going to use this today as our equilibrium point. Okay. Equilibrium. Yes, this is going to take me a while, and I realize I am burning the clock, but hey, you want to see me write poorly. Oh, see? Pointy. Oh, hey, I'm just like a Scrabble. We play the Scrabble. What can I do? Up, mo, make it do mop. I don't know, mope, momentum. I need a lot of letters for that. Okay, here we go. Equilibrium point is this point right here. All right, let's go into this a little bit more detail. So let's start at this point. This supply, so the amount that the farmers are making, they're making ginseng at this price. Notice this is the price. So going up higher is going to be a higher price. Down lower is a lower price. Let's say this is 0. So let's say this is like $1. When I say $1, I'm talking about $1 a pound. That is an extremely low price, especially if we know the ginseng goes right now for about $8 a pound. And farmers are pretty happy about that. $1 a pound, they probably wouldn't be making, or they wouldn't be growing it. You wouldn't see all these extra ginseng farms around Wausau, right? But right now, you do because the price is pretty decent. If it were $1 a pound, there would not be many available. It wouldn't be much quantity at all, and there wouldn't be much produced. Okay, you can also notice that supply and quantity are usually the same, or pretty much are the same, but they are different. So anyway, $1 a pound, price is low, quantity is not high. So the demand, however, when this price is really low, is very high for that quantity, right? They want a lot of it, for at that price. Sorry, I was putting up there. I didn't mean to. They want a lot of it for at that price. So we can see how these two are connected. Okay. So there's a high demand for ginseng at $1 a pound because it's so cheap. What happens is this is below this point. There is a shortage. Yep, I know I'm trying to write shortage. So all these people down here that wanted ginseng for $1 a pound, or even if there's at this point $5 a pound, $4 a pound, so on, they're not going to get it, especially at this low price. Why? Because there's hardly any of it being made. Probably just a couple of farmers like, well, I'm just going to keep making it and hope the price gets higher at some point, but they're like, oh, this sucks. Or they don't sell it at all. All right. So because the price is low, supply is low, even though demand is very high for it. Okay, so you can see this red over here. I guess I could use red for that. Red is very high. Supply is very low. And this is what they want. There's a shortage. Okay, that's a good way of doing it. Okay, next going up. Let's go up to the opposite. Let's say this is $20 a pound. I should use black. Oh, well. $20 a pound. At $20 a pound, the farmer's like, woohoo! Money, money, bling, bling. They're getting gold teeth and, you know, driving around 6'4" Impalas, that kind of thing. But the problem is they're not selling much. So at this high of a price, look at the demand for that is very low. It's a very low demand. So because the price is so high, okay, oops, I should use red. Because the price is so high, the demand for that quantity going this way is very low. And I know that can be kind of hard to understand here. So how many are they going to demand? Not very many at that high of a price. So you see how this is how many quantity? They're not going to demand very much. There'd be still a few people that are like, I got to have my ginseng, right? No matter what, I'll pay $1,000 a pound. Just give me my ginseng. Well, that's probably true for some people, but the demand will still be a lot less even though for that high of a price. So again, this is quantity, how many they want, and this is at that price, so $20 a pound. But the supply over here is very high because, again, the farmers can make a lot of money. So they're going to be making, let's say this is 100 over here. And that's just an arbitrary number versus this is maybe, I don't know, 3. Okay? So before, at a low price, they weren't going to make much, but people wanted it. And now they're going to make a lot of ginseng. There's going to be a lot more ginseng farmers, but they are not many people are going to buy it because the price is so high. Okay. So what we have up here is called a surplus. Surplus. That wasn't too bad, except for that U. It's like a, I don't know, an M. I don't know what it is. So anything that's above this equilibrium point is not sold. It's sitting in a warehouse somewhere, like I showed you that soda picture. The price is high, so ginseng farmers are making ginseng, and they might store it in barrels and maybe sell it later when people will buy it. But nevertheless, there's a lot of ginseng sitting around that nobody's buying, especially the higher price. The lower the price, you can see there's less and less extra. It's a little bit extra at that point, a lot extra at $20 a pound. Down here, they want more and they can't get it. Wham, wham. Okay. Last one, equilibrium point. Let's say this is about $10 a pound. So, let's say this is like $8 a pound, about where it is right now. And that's right here, our equilibrium point. At $8 a pound, our equilibrium point, that again is when supply and demand are equal. So this determines best price, right? Guess I should write that on there too. Determines, I'm not going to write determines, that's way too much work. But that's the best price. So right now, and this is the case for Wausau, a lot of ginseng is being made and people are actually buying it, and it's at a reasonable price, so $8 a pound. And the reason for that is they're making enough money off of it, so there's enough supply at that quantity, and at that price, the price is decent. And there's enough demand because they're like, it's not $20 a pound, and I realize it's not $1 a pound, but $8 a pound, yeah, that's acceptable. I can do that. I can swing it. That'll work. Other sentences that mean the same thing as that. And so people are buying it at $8 a pound. All right, so that really is their best price. So it's a constant juggling game of supply versus demand. All right, I hope those things make sense. If not, I guess just rewatch this or maybe watch somebody else's video that probably does a better job than me. But I've watched other videos and I was more confused by their videos than my own. So here we go. Next concept, cost-benefit analysis. Now we're on to easier stuff. What will it cost me? What do I get out of it? So again, cost is something, reload. I feel like I'm playing a video game. Reload. What is that, Area 51? Okay. What will it cost me? What do I get out of it? So cost is something you have to give up. We're not talking about the price, but you have to give up money. That's what it costs you, okay? When it's a price, that's what you're selling it for, okay? You're not selling something. You're giving up money for it. So what cost would Call of Duty Black Ops, which I've never played, I'm sorry to admit that, cost you? Well, I think it's about $60. I guess I could look that up, but let's say it's $60. To get that Call of Duty Black Ops game, you would have to work at McDonald's for minimum wage, $7.25 an hour, take out taxes and stuff and buy a soda maybe after you're done working. Let's say you get $5 an hour in the end out of it. So you have to work at least 12 hours to buy the Call of Duty Black Ops. And that's just for a video game. Okay, it's not actually going to help you survive. If you're trapped in the wilderness somewhere and there's a big bear coming after you and you try to pull out your virtual gun, it's actually not going to help you, just to let you know. So Call of Duty, you might get some entertainment out of it, but if you don't have that specialized system, which you have to pay, $300-$400 for, you're not going to be able to play it either. You have to have electricity. So there's more hidden costs than even just the game itself. Maybe your mom gets angry at you. What do you get out of it? Well, probably get angry and you throw the controller at the TV because somebody just shot you in the head for the umpteenth time in a row. And then the next one is maybe a Happy Meal. So I have kids, and I take my kids to McDonald's pretty much every Monday. The reason for is they have a playland in Schofield, right? And the Happy Meals are not that expensive. And with my West card, I can buy a combo and get a free sandwich. I take that salad home, or the sandwich I eat the next day. So I pretty much get 2 meals out of it, and the Happy Meal for $10 or less. Pretty good deal. And it's like a couple hours of entertainment. And I watch really awful Disney shows like Dog with a Blog. I mean, I'd rather shoot myself in the head, but it's on, so my eyes are glued to the television. You know how it is, right? Okay, so Happy Meal, $3-4. One kid eats it, they're happy. They're no longer begging for a toy constantly. Okay. Another one is maybe a Taylor Swift album, maybe $15. Going to cost you, oh, by the way, this maybe cost you a half an hour of work to make your child happy. Taylor Swift album costs maybe $15 at the store. I need to finish this lecture up. Costs you $15 at the store. That's 3 hours of work, some entertainment out of it. Another one is a bag of rice. Feed your family for months, right? Especially a 100-pound bag of rice, about $50. You can feed your family for maybe 3-4 months, depending on the size. So you have to weigh those things when you buy things. All right, quiz 4 is on economic laws, supply and demand curve, and equilibrium point. That's it for today.